By now, you guys should know how much we love our animals on this show, and we recently covered quite an incredible story on a 210-kilogram Western lowland gorilla that was transported from the Johannesburg Zoo to Pretoria University's Faculty of Veterinary Science for a CT scan that unfortunately revealed several tumors obstructing its nasal passageway. The 34-year-old male gorilla named Makoko has since returned to the zoo and is awaiting his surgery in July.
I think it's such an incredible story. But we've got Dr. Chrisen Pillay, the Johannesburg Zoo vet who's been treating Macoco's joints, and he joins us on the line to give us an update on his condition. Dr. Pillay, good morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, colleagues. It's good to be here.
So how's Macoco currently doing over there?
So he has no recollection that he's made history. One of the first gorillas to fly asleep in a helicopter. He's recovered well from his procedure and from his flight to the University of Pretoria. He was actually transported back to his enclosure on the same day. He had a nice, good wake up. But the next morning he was eating his usual breakfast. So he's back. He's nice and calm. He's relaxed. He's had no negative effects from this ordeal, and he's interacting well with his keepers at the zoo.
So let's go back a few steps. How long had you been concerned about Macoco, and what made you realize that there could be an underlying issue that was possibly a bit more serious behind those nasal blockages? So
since December last year, we noticed that Macoco was showing these signs of a chronic nasal discharge. Our veterinary team at the zoo, diagnosed this, and we started him on conservative medical interventions. So, that included culture-directed antibiotic therapy, nasal decongestants, nebulization, all these sorts of therapies as well. And what we noticed is that he would improve, his symptoms would disappear. However, once treatment was stopped, these symptoms would reoccur at this time. And then this led us to believe that there's something more serious underlying this nasal discharge, which is causing these symptoms. That made it necessary for us to act and to actually conduct a complete physical or health examination on him.
So you've got a scheduled surgery now, obviously, that you've planned. When is it planned to happen, and how long is the anticipated recovery period once that's done?
So at this point, we're busy in the prep stages. He had his first procedure on the 20th of May at the zoo. And then on the 6th of June, he had his airlift to Pretoria for his CT scan. So what we've been trying to do is make sure that we give him adequate recovery periods between these anesthetic events. They can be stressful and they do take a toll on his body. So it also gives us time to prepare for the surgery. It gives the surgeons time to actually evaluate the CT scan so that they can adequately prepare the way that they're going to approach the surgery. So right now we're looking at about the first week of July when we're planning the surgery. It's hard to say how long his recovery period is going to be until we actually do the surgery. It's quite important that we need to find the underlying cause, for what's causing his symptoms as well. And then once the surgery is done, he'll recover that day. He'll be fully awake by the next day. But it could be up to a month, where we might see that his symptoms don't reoccur.
I suppose so much that is yet to be discovered, as you say, but from what you do know right now, is this something that's relatively common? And obviously, this is going to inform just how intricate the treatment plan needs to be. Is this something that's been exhibited in Western lowland gorillas before? Are you flying blind here? How much do you actually know?
There aren't many reported cases of this. We managed to find one reported case in 2014 in Seattle. There was a similar diagnosis. So it's not routinely reported. There's possibly about 100,000 Western lowland gorillas in the world. And it's not often reported in these animals, in these situations as well. It's interesting. This condition is actually reported in humans. Where humans get this chronic nasal discharge, and they develop these inflammatory polyps, these inflammatory growths in their nose in response to that. And there's often an underlying cause to that. And one of the common causes is an underlying allergy or even a fungal infection.
Okay.
At this point in time, Macoco's tests have come back negative for that. So we're going to be doing the surgery, sending more samples to the lab so that we can hopefully find the underlying cause. That's why we had such a multidisciplinary approach to this. We don't, it's not routinely done, it's not often done, but we have a really good team working on this procedure, so that we did all of our research. We did our homework before we approaching each of these phases.
Well, we know that Makoko is certainly in good hands with you there, Dr. Chrisen Pillay, and the rest of your team out there working around the clock to make sure that you give him the smoothest transition and recovery into that space. But thank you very much for joining us on the line.
Good luck.
And good luck. We can't wait to hear all the different updates as they come through. We know that he turns 35 on the 9th of July, not the most ideal way to celebrate your birthday, but I'm sure he'll be okay.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having us on the show. We really appreciate it.
And we wish Makoko and the team all the best ahead for their upcoming procedure and hope for a speedy recovery and absolutely no complications.